Hey, you guys. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about former Teen Mom star Mackenzie Edwards and her soon-to-be ex-husband, Ryan Edwards. I told you guys a few days ago that I had gotten some information about Mackenzie Edwards. I swore I turned that down, but apparently not. But I told you guys a couple of days ago that I had got some information about a 911 call that happened due to a disturbance at Mackenzie's house. I didn't have all the information, so I was trying to gather more information. But more information has come out, and some 911 calls have come out, and kind of like almost like a transcript of kind of what happened has come out. So we're going to read over the Sun because they got a hold of the information before I could. I was given a little information like, hey, just so you know, like this is what's going on over there. I don't know much, but here's this, here's that, and this is all I know, right? So I said what I knew. And I do feel like that kind of caused like a firestorm after that because I didn't have all the information. I only had like bits and pieces of it. But Amanda, like she put out some more information or whatever, and it kind of caused like this like firestorm of people talking about it or whatever. But the Sun has gotten more of the information. So I want to read the Sun. I want to listen to the 911 call, and then I have some thoughts and opinions. Just because Amanda did go live with a fellow creator, reality TV with Raya. I don't know why I always want to say Raya. Reality TV with Ray, who is like on friendly terms with Amanda. It seems like they're like friends. And I do want to be clear that me and Ray have different opinions on like she's friends with Amanda. She understands their side and agrees with their side. I lean more towards support Mackenzie just because I have a baby daddy very much like Ryan, and I have lived a kind of a similar lifestyle of being, you know, 21, making dumb decisions, getting pregnant by him a second time, and then having certain people like my older kid's dad defend him over everything. Can you guys hear? If you can hear, you guys let Amanda G know that y'all can hear. Um, Meanwhile, I'm here, taking care of our two kids while he is raising a whole nother family, not paying child support, in and out of addiction, coming out of addiction and doing better. And everybody's praising him because he's doing great. And it's like, okay, yeah, he's doing great. I'm glad because our kids deserve us over dad. But it's like, I've been over here doing like the real work of raising these children by myself. Financially, I'm like, can barely make it, but he's getting all the praises. So I have kind of lived like a similar lifestyle. That's why I always resonated. Macy's story always resonated with me. Um, Chelsea stories always resonated with me. So we have different opinions, but that's okay. Like me and her are still like we're still cool with each other. But Amanda did go live with her, and I've kind of debated like, do I want to play some of that and then give my commentary because I don't want it to seem like I'm like bashing another creator because that's not what it's going to be at all. But I do have different opinions than she does, which is just fine. You know what I'm saying? But I want to read this, listen to that one call, and then I'll share my opinions with you guys. Yes, Mary, that's what you can go. Who is that? Hey, somebody just opened my door. All right, let's go ahead. Let's read this article because I'm honestly shocked, you guys. I'm honestly shocked when I post like the 911 call or I post a video about it, how many people just talk so bad about Mackenzie. And it's like, you know what, like her or not, when you put what she did on a scale to what, the things that Ryan has done on a scale, for everybody to be like, oh, I hate Mackenzie so much. And I'm like, how can you despise her because, oh, well, she married him while he was high, so she deserved it. Like, oh, well, she read a letter to Macy, so she deserved it. It's like, well, what did Ryan do to Macy? What about, okay, so now you're mad because what she did to Macy, which I will say, when I watched that too, I remember the first time I saw her read the letter to Macy, I was furious. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you like, what? Like, it is not Macy's fault. Like, she's been the one raising her kid by herself while Ryan's off doing whatever the heck, So, I very much. What I will say, the people that I've talked to that know Mackenzie, they're like, yeah, she regrets that. She understands Macy now. She completely regrets that. And two, like, I've been told by several people that Jen and Larry was in her ear, like, about that the whole time. The letter, that Jen and Larry was very much like, "Oh, yeah, read that letter. That's everything we've been wanting to say to her as well. You do it." Because Jen and Larry are very much the type that, okay, Mackenzie, nobody liked Mackenzie because she married him high. She didn't know that he was under the influence of H. She stood by him because she thought he was taking Xanax, and she had no idea that it was an addiction until the day after they got married, okay? Because the situation happened. Um, and everybody's like, there's no way she didn't know. Let me tell you, addicts are not coming out here saying, I'm an addict. Like, he was saying he was on Xanax. Anyways, I got so much I want to say. We're gonna read over this. We're gonna listen to the 911 call. I am flabbergasted when I post things though, and I'm all for people supporting Ryan and Amanda. Like, sure, absolutely, they're sober. That's awesome. But I'm thinking, do these people have children? Like, do these people have a daughter? How do these people feel if their daughters made a dumb decision by marrying a man, believe in his lies, and then that man put a gun to their daughter's head, not once, but twice, put a knife to her back, destroyed her house, not once, but twice, did all these things, and then leaves the daughter to tend to the kids and clean up the mess and rebuild the house. He goes off and gets help, comes back home, rebuilds a whole nother family. And how would you feel if this was your daughter that the whole world hates? The whole world hates, but this man that did these things to your daughter is getting praised. People are singing his praises. And I'm like, I understand, because I'll be the first person to say that I'm happy that Ryan is sober. I'm happy that Ryan and Amanda are sober. I'm happy they are doing great. That's awesome. Because even if I didn't like them, I do believe their children deserve to see their parents to be sober, and their kids deserve a normal life, right? Um, but I can also look at like the full picture, because you guys remember Ashley Siren from Teen Mom? When we found out about Barr flying into Las Vegas and breaking into her apartment and hiding out all night waiting for her to show up. And then when she showed up, he's like, "Oh, hey, baby mama." She's like, "Oh, hey, baby daddy." And he threatens her. He has a gun with him, and like he wouldn't let her leave the house. And the cops gets called by her mom, and her mom's like frantic, like, my daughter went into her house and her ex-husband is there and he's dangerous and he's already threatened to kill her. You guys remember how we talked about that? How we were like, "Oh my gosh, that's horrible." You guys remember, even to this day, I feel like even to this day, like, we feel for Ashley Siren. We're like, "Oh my goodness, like, thank God she got out of that." And we're looking at Bar like, that was horrible for you to do that to her. Like, what kind of psycho are you? Mackenzie had things like this happen, not just on one occasion, but on many occasions. She just didn't tell it. She wasn't out here telling the world what the things that was happening. And that's something else. Is everybody's like, she's so bitter or she wants all this attention. And I'm like, I'm hearing things from people that know Ryan and Mackenzie that tell me things that happen. And I'm like, what? Like, why does nobody know this? Because nobody knows. Nobody would have knew about him trashing the house had outlets not picked it up. But everybody's always like, "Oh, Mackenzie wants so much attention." I'm like, y'all, as somebody that reports on this stuff, you guys don't understand. If Mackenzie wanted attention, she could get it. She could go live every day on TikTok, showing messages, showing pictures, talking about this, getting people sending her tips. She could do interviews with the Sun. She could get paid for it. Hell, she could come on my channel. You know what I'm saying? If she really wanted to just put all this out there and get so much attention, she could do that. Mind you, she's been asked to come back by MTV and she declined. Okay. So I'm not saying Mackenzie's perfect either. Yeah, I definitely think that she's made mistakes. And there were times during the season where I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? But I am just, how this woman is literally trying to live her life. She rebuilt her house with not a penny from Ryan, no help from Ryan. She gets accused. There's literally people saying, "Oh, I bet she made the house worse. I bet before the cops got there, she ruined the house even worse." Like, yeah, this woman who comes home and sees her house destroyed, she's like, "Let me make it worse before the cops get here." Knowing full well, she's knowing in her head, he ain't gonna pay to fix it. It is her house, though, Brandy. It is her house. And I don't know where people get this idea that that's his parents' house. The only houses that his parents own is their house and the house that they just bought for Ryan and Amanda. And somebody come in my chat the other day saying that they bought Ryan and Amanda a house, and they did. Well, yes. Okay, so technically it's still their house, but she was given permission by the court to live in it. He basically abandoned it, left it, destroyed it, and never paid a dime to fix it. So just consider yourself. If you are married, your husband relapses hard, is doing things, crazy things to you, being abusive to you, accusing you of things, and then the next day waking up and when you tell him that this happened, he's like, "No, I didn't. You're lying. You're crazy. You're crazy. I didn't do that. You're crazy." Okay. You end up finally getting a divorce or splitting up after he trashes your house, after he threatens you, after he puts a knife to your back, all these things. He leaves the house. It takes you a year or more to fix it. You move your kids back in, and this is where you go every evening. This is where you sleep. This is where you wake up. For people to be like, well, it's still their house. Well, it's her house, really, though. Yes, legally, his name is on there, but that's where she lives. That's her and her kids' house. He destroyed it. He abandoned it. He has a house with Amanda. So, while yes, legally, I guess you could say it's hers, his, whatever. If it was me and I lived there and I paid to fix it, and we were in the middle of a divorce, and that's where me and my family lived, my kids, and he ain't paid one single bill in over 2 years, but I'm paying for all the bills, I would feel like that's my house. And the idea that people get that that's his parents' house, it's not. Don't know where that came from. I'm not sure, but it's not his parents' house. But let's read this article. And I probably seem like I get like hyped over this, but I'm just confused by the hate that she gets. Because I'm like, yes, she may have done a few things that upset us, but are we more mad at a girl at 20 years old who married a man that was high than a man that put a gun to his wife's head and destroyed his family's house? Is that what we're doing? Like, is that what we're really going to do? A man that literally, after he got out of rehab, he got involved in a bar fight. After he got out of rehab, he got caught on his motorcycle going like 140 something miles per hour. Like, are we like, put a gun to his wife's head, refused to have a relationship with his son for like 16 years. Like Bentley is 16 now. Like, yes, that's great that they're establishing a relationship right now. But do you guys think that Bentley don't have some sort of trauma? Just like Leah, just like when a parent is not involved with their child, very minimum involvement with their child for 16 years, that affects the child. There's a negative impact on that child, right? That's due to Ryan. He did not have a relationship with Bentley. He's just now establishing that relationship with Bentley, which that's great. But yeah, let's a man that didn't have a relationship with his child that surely caused some sort of trauma for not being a present dad. Thank God for Taylor. Let's act like Mackenzie's the worst one than him. I can't even. It mind blows me. Like I'm like when I read the comments and I see it, I'm like, what? Like, oh, she's just bitter. You wouldn't be mad? You wouldn't be mad? I mean, I might would still be bitter at this man too if he did me the way that he did Mackenzie. The stories that I have been told by people that know both of them is horrendous. Horrendous stories of abuse that this woman went through. That everybody's like, she just wants the spotlight. She just wants fame. Well, why is she out here telling those daggone stories if that's what she's want? Why am I got to talk to somebody that knows of both of them that's telling me and then telling me, but don't say nothing. Don't tell that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I mean, there's a reason why Ryan has supervised visits because I'm sure the judge probably knows about some of these things. I'm sure she's provided evidence for some of these things. You know, I can tell you, okay, I can answer this question. Simply Stardust says, I don't understand why Mackenzie's parents just didn't let Jen and Larry walk through with him. This could have been avoided because it wasn't Mackenzie's parents, it was Mackenzie's dad. I don't know. I know Amanda was saying the Mackenzie's parents was there, but I got this verified. Like, I got this verified. It was just Mackenzie's dad. That's it. And what the plan was thought to be was Ryan would show up and they would do a walkthrough together. So Mackenzie's dad, he could make sure everything went as planned, right? He's not I'm sure Mackenzie has cameras in the house. Everybody's like, "Oh, she wanted him to go alone so she can accuse him of stealing or something." She ain't gonna accuse him of nothing. He destroyed her house. Like, he's done enough to her. If she wanted to accuse him of something, she could just come out and tell one of the stories that actually happened to her. She could actually put out, evidence of when he did X, Y, and Z to her. She ain't out here trying to paint him as a bad guy. She actually said in the phone call or in the 911 call, like, it's not him, it's the parents. So this is why it was an issue because that's what the plan was. The plan was Ryan would show up, the dad will be there, they will walk to the house. When three people show up and they scatter, you got Ryan going in the garage and his dad going in the house, then how is this man supposed to watch three people go through the house? How is he supposed like what if Ryan does go in the garage and take something? Well, what if they walk up and Larry walks up to what's his name? Mackenzie's dad's name? I don't even like it sounded like he said Papa Stanifer or Pop Stanifer. Bob. I think it's Bob. So say they get there and Larry walks up to Bob and is keeping Bob outside talking to him, asking him how it's been, oh, these kids drive us crazy, they're gonna put us in our grave early. And say Ryan is maybe taking some things. He was not there to take things. He was there to do an inventory, to see what all he had, write his things down, take pictures, and then leave. But how can Bob watch three people? So that's the reason the 911 call was had because he's like, I can't watch three people go through the house. This is not what was supposed to happen. We got three people going all over the house. I can't watch this. So I need the cops out here because, like, I'm not doing this. Like, it could have been so much easier. Show up by yourself, walk through the house, or maybe everybody stick together. I don't know. But he can't watch three people. Okay, then he could walk up and go follow Ryan around. Not hard. Jen wasn't even in the house. At the moment that the cops were called, Jen wasn't in the house. But Larry and Ryan were separated. Okay, so what if he followed Ryan, but Larry's taking stuff? And everybody's like, oh, he had his parents to. If it was me, I would want the cops there. If I was Ryan or Mackenzie, I'd be like, to protect me, because I don't want to. If he goes and he brings his parents and something, Mackenzie comes home and is like, I think something's missing. She calls the cops and she's like, I think something's missing. Like, I come home and like, I think there's a few things missing. My ex was here today, inventory in the house, and he wasn't supposed to take anything, but I actually think some things are missing. Ryan, like his parents, they're the witnesses. I mean, we already know his parents will enable him. They would be like, oh, no, he didn't take anything. Even if he did, and they probably knew, they would say he did. Come on, we know them. We know they will take up for Ryan. We know the story. Like, we know how they are with Ryan. You know what I'm saying? So, honestly, his parents should have either stayed outside, stayed in the car, let Ryan and Bob do what they needed to do, and move on with life. Everybody's like blaming Mackenzie. But I'm like, first off, the fact that the judge even allowed that bewilders me because let's look at the pictures of the house that was destroyed. Let's look at the house. I've got to figure out why my computer does this. I can't even see what I'm trying to click on. Okay. So here's like the dining room area. The table tipped over, spray painted, the refrigerator on the ground. Um, here's his shop. Okay, here's his shop in his shed where most of his stuff was, which truth be told, he didn't really mess with any of his stuff. I can tell you, okay, this is why. Everybody's like, oh, she's selling his stuff. Okay, she comes home to a house that's destroyed. He has not been back since then. She had to go through that house with it like that. She had to go through her house with it like this. Let me bring it back up. Hold on. And she had to go through the house to say, this is broken, throw that away. This is broken, throw that away. I mean, I don't even know what the point of that is. It doesn't look normal, throw that away. Um, that's not mine. You know what? Throw it away. Like half the stuff was like, so you know what? If you destroy my house and I got to go through all of my stuff that's broken and your stuff, damn right I might sell it and say, you know what? First off, like the house, right? It's theirs. Legally, it's theirs. Like anything in that house, if they bought once they got together, it's theirs. So if my husband destroyed my family home and I'm working, you're not paying me a dime to fix it or in child support, and I'm only making about 3 grand a month, I might sell some of our stuff to help fix the damn house. You're right. And would I think at the time that I'm doing anything wrong? No, I would just think, well, this is our stuff. I've got to fix my home. I got to fix my family home. I need to put it back together so my kids can go home. If it's legal for him to trash it, it should be legal for her to sell it. That's so true because everybody's like, he paid his dues. He paid his time for trashing the house. No, he didn't. He didn't get in no trouble for trashing the house. You want to know why? Because in the state of Tennessee, you can destroy your own house because it's his, because it's also his. So I'm like, well, why can't she sell their stuff? How much sense does it make that he can destroy the house and he don't have to help her fix it and he don't get in no trouble legally, but she can't sell their stuff to help fix it? I don't agree with that at all, Brandy. I don't agree with that. And honestly, that infuriates me that somebody says he should not pay child support until ordered by the judge. My husband right here is in the chat. The Bass, that's my husband. And I can tell you today, if this man was to leave me today and our income changed and I struggled to pay the bills, this man, if I text him and said, hey, can you please bring groceries and just drop them off outside? He would be here within an hour. Within an hour. And there's no way in hell that my husband would get a new woman, get her pregnant, put her in the house, be doing a whole nursery while he ain't paying me a dime, and I'm barely making ends meet, and I gotta pay to fix my house to put my kids back up in it. There is no way in hell. And you want to know what my husband would say? Oh well, if I don't get the credit for it, oh well. Like it is what it is. He absolutely could have wrote her money orders. He could have sent it through the state. He could have set that up himself. He could have set it up himself to say, because you want to know something? My older two kids' daddy ain't never really paid child support. Ain't never really paid child support up until about 6 months ago. He started paying child support. And you want to know who started it? My kids are 20 and 17. I ain't worried about child support from this man in years. I never really did. I never really worried about child support from him because he was like Ryan. When I did set it up through the state, he didn't pay anyways. And every once in a while, he would be like, my license is about to get suspended. Like, I can't work if I ain't got no license. Please drop the child support or the back time and I'll start paying you because without my license, I can't work. So I went and dropped the child support, the arrears to keep him from losing his license, thinking, well, that's right. I don't want to be the reason he goes to jail for non-payment of child support. And I don't want to be the reason he loses his license and he can't work. And if he does lose his license and he can't work, then he's really not going to help me take care of the kids. So I dropped his child support like 3 times. And then finally they were like, if you drop it again, like the judge is probably not going to order it anymore. So I completely quit worrying about child support probably when our oldest was about 10. Okay. I ain't touched child support. Ain't asking for nothing. I ain't touched it. About 6 months ago, he messages me saying, hey, I set child support up. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I'm going to start paying child support because he completed rehab a while back. He's doing better. He's working. He did this. He did this. I'm like, well, I ain't even got no child support card. I'm like, my child support card is old as dirt and it has been expired for 10 years. I mean, not exactly 10, but I'm like, I'm literally like looking through my old wallets, like, where's my child support card? Like, I don't even think I have it because he's like, I already sent some into the state. You should be getting it like in a couple of days. I'm like, I don't even have a child support card. So I had to order a new one and he's been paying it. It's been coming directly out of his check. So Ryan could set child support up if he wanted to help. Okay. So I paid myself once for child support. My daughter dad was going to lose his license. I should have never did that. See the things that we do to try to help these people out, but it's insane. Yeah, my oldest daughter isn't my husband's biological daughter, and her biological dad was just like Ryan, but a drunk instead of drugs. The day I got married is the last time he paid child support. If Ryan was as passionate about his kids as he is his possessions, this would be a totally different conversation. Dude's not even pretending to try to support his kids. Exactly. So I don't agree with he wasn't court ordered to. I don't give two craps if he was court ordered to. Those are his kids. So you mean to tell me you gonna leave that house like it is, put it on Mackenzie to fix while she's making $3,000 a month? And yes, that's what she's making because when through child support court, they had to prove their income. She couldn't just go in there and say, I only make 3K. She had to prove it by bringing 2 years of tax returns. Ryan had to turn in 2 years tax returns, which is how they figured out that he's making this man's making $16,000 a month. Mackenzie's making $3,000 a month. She's got to pay to completely redo his house. He's not, Trisha. He hasn't been, and he's not gonna be. Let's continue looking at the house. I mean, all the cabinets. Look at the cabinets just broken. The walls completely spray painted, holes all in the walls. Oh, and somebody said, I bet Mackenzie did that because the writing on the walls looked different. It looked like different handwriting. It looked like different handwriting on the walls. So I think Mackenzie did some of that. Probably because he was a drug-induced maniac when he was doing this. He had 5 different personalities coming out when he was doing all of this, more than likely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure by this point, Mackenzie knew damn well Ryan wasn't going to fix the house just like he didn't last time. Just like when he did the house last time. Just like when he destroyed the house last time, he did not pay to fix it. She had to get it fixed. Okay? So I don't think for a second, you mean to tell me, I mean, probably so. There's probably women out there that hate their men so much but Mackenzie, look at how she is with her kids. Like, and she's never lost custody of any of her kids. To those, it's like she lost custody of Hudson. No, she didn't. There's rumors that she gave Hudson up. No, she didn't. Oh, she gave Hudson up to be with Ryan. Didn't happen. Her ex-husband fought her for custody because she was with Ryan. When it came out that Ryan was struggling with addiction, her ex took her to court for custody and she fought him and they ended up with 50-50 custody. Okay. I've literally seen this comment that she gave Hudson up to be with Ryan. I don't think for a second this woman that I've talked to several people that know her at this point, that know both of them. I'm not talking to one side, just somebody that knows Mackenzie. I'm talking to people that know both of them. Okay. I don't think for a second this woman would go in there and see her house destroyed to this extent. Mind you, when they picked Ryan up at his job, he had fresh white paint on his boots. He had paint fresh on the top and the bottom of his boots. So Ryan destroyed some of the house, and she's like, well, let me make it worse. So me and my kids, so it takes longer for me to have to pay to fix it. So it takes more money for me to fix it. So me and my kids have to stay somewhere else even longer because I'm going to do this damage. What? No way in hell. I mean, you guys, I showed y'all the pictures of the first time he did this to the house and what it looked like. It wasn't to this extent. It looked like he had stuck a knife in the wall and just slid it down. Then after he destroyed the house, he went and passed out on the bed with his pew-pews laying beside him. This is what she had to deal with. And I get it. He's sober. That's great. He's doing better. That's awesome. But this woman lived a traumatic life with him the last few years of her life. Traumatic. Like the things that I've been told. Like I told you guys one story that one of my sources told me a while back about the situation where she had the debit card because he had just come back. Before he went to rehab, he was spending a lot of money and he would go to the ATM machine and get money out of the ATM. So she thought, well, if I keep the card, he can't go buy drugs. Because when you're young and you don't know much about addiction, you try to do anything that you can. And sometimes you may do things that it's like, well, yeah, right. They're going to find another way. But she was just trying anything that she could. So she takes their debit card from him, thinking, well, if I have the debit card, he can't go buy drugs. He ends up going to rehab. She still has the debit card. He goes to rehab, comes back from rehab, and relapses within a few days. Relapses. Well, she's at a friend's house. He's texting her. He needs the debit card. He needs the debit card. So she goes to leave her friend's house, walks off the porch, gets in the car, turns around. This man is sitting there. She turns, gun right here her head. Thankfully, her friend had walked out on the porch and saw this. her friend yelled for her boyfriend to come out. The boyfriend comes out. So Mackenzie's friend and the boyfriend is yelling and screaming at Ryan. Ryan's like, give me my debit card. So Mackenzie's like, gives a debit card. He gets the debit card, takes off. After putting a gun to this woman's head. We read reports about the things that he did to her. I read some of your comment, but I don't know what the rest of it is, Brandy. I'm not sure what the rest of it is. Well, that was her house that she still owed money on, and that's where her kids lived. Her babies were like brought home there, I think. They go to school in that area. It's not easy just to buy a new house. You know what I'm saying? Especially when now you've got debt from your husband who run up a bunch of credit cards and all this debt because of his addiction. That now you're going, especially it's especially hard to do it like when you're going through a divorce, I believe. Like I don't think she can sell the house while they're going through a divorce. I think that has to be agreed upon. So they separate. She files for a divorce. He destroys the house. He gets arrested for violating a restraining order and stalking, not destroying the house. And everybody's like, well, just move. Just move. Well, she can't technically. Like once you separate, like you can't move. You have to wait. And two, she didn't just come into a bunch of money and repair the house. She repaired the house over like a year and a half because she she had to work, make money, pay it. Like pay to get this fixed. Work, make money, pay to get this fixed. It wasn't like all the money that she put into fixing the house. She had that sitting in a bank account somewhere where she could have went and bought a new house. Couldn't do that. Anyways, we'll watch this, finish watching this, and then I'll go read the article. But Mackenzie had to go home to this, fix all of this, throw away everything that was broken, and refurnish the house. So yeah, if it was me and I had to be the person to clean all this mess up and throw away all of my broken stuff, I might would sell some of your stuff or our stuff to help fix the house. I might would be like, that looks broke, don't know what it is, looks like it's broken, throw it out, you know? Yeah, she's a medical sales representative from what I'm told. Yeah, she makes $3,000 a month and she got 3 kids. Yep. Somebody says, from the looks of it, it didn't like anything could have been sold. It was all ruined. Well, here's the thing. Everybody's like, she sold things. She sold things. I'm like, how do we know she actually sold things? We're taking Ryan's word for it. Are we? Ryan said she sold things. And I'm like, but do we really know that she actually did? Or maybe when she was cleaning out the house, she threw a bunch of shit away because it looked broke. She didn't know. And maybe when Ryan inquired about it, she was like, I don't know, or I don't have that. She had to completely redo her house. So if something is missing, yeah, and he crapped in the vents in the bedroom, allegedly. Allegedly, he crapped in the vents, or maybe he put dog poop in the vents. I don't know. But the cops talked about how it reeked of poop. They couldn't find it. So I forgot what I was saying. I forgot. Let's carry on. And can I be honest with you guys? And I'm probably going to get some hate from this. I'm probably going to get some hate from this. You know, everybody's like, Ryan can drink. That's not, he was never an alcoholic. I think he is. Look at Jenna Leary. Look at, y'all can't tell me one of them probably ain't got cirrhosis of the liver or whatever it can cause from drinking crate. Like, just because Ryan's never said, I'm an alcoholic, like if we watch him on the show the day after he come home from rehab, the first time he went to rehab, with Mackenzie and they go to his parents' house, he has a beer in his hand. So I'm like, if like just because someone hasn't admitted that they're an alcoholic doesn't mean they're not. But I'm like, they drink a lot. Like, what? How do you know when someone's an alcoholic? Like, how much do they have to drink? Every day? Every other day? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm very curious. Me too. Yes, exactly. That girl says, I've been in recovery since 2015. My DOC was opiates, but I still wouldn't drink or smoke. Well, I think sober is sober from all substances, in my opinion, and in my professional opinion. And Greyhound girls, can you tell us what you do again? This is your field. And, I know a lot of people, they're like, if it's not your drug of choice, it's fine. But I think you're setting yourself up for failure. The chances of you staying sober when you drink, I think you lessen those chances because you are taking a mind altering substance. And when your mind is altered, you are more likely to make a dumb decision. I mean, literally, I don't drink, but when I was growing up, I did a little bit, my teenage years, and I thought I could swim. Okay, I would drink and think I could swim. I knew I couldn't swim, and I'm terrified of water. I don't even get in pools. I'm terrified of water. I don't get in pools. I know I can't swim. But when I was younger, like 16, 17, before I had my daughter, and I drank a little bit, like me and my cousins would go out and we would drink a little bit. When I would drink a little too much, I felt like I could swim. I remember one time we were at this place that was it had a rope where you can swing over and you can drop and go into the creek. And I was gonna do it. I've been drinking and I thought I could swim. And my friend was like, girl, no, you're about to kill yourself. You can't swim. What are you doing? And I'm like, no, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. So when you drink, you're more likely to make dumb decisions like jumping out into the water when you can't swim or saying, you know what, I can just, take a pill tonight. It's fine. I can handle it. I've been sober this long. Like, I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you're a recovering addict from something else and you drink not even on just here and there, but on a pretty consistent basis because they do, I think Ryan's family does, Macy, Ryan, Bentley, like they were drinking at Bentley Sweet 16. So if you do, I think you are weakening your chances of staying sober. And when you have had the struggle like Ryan has had to even get to where he is today, I just don't know why you would chance it. It has taken Ryan 16 years to get to this point. This is probably the longest he's ever been sober since he's started his addiction, right? So I just don't know why anybody would want to take that chance, really, honestly. She did address this, Rocket, because yeah, like when they went out the other night, they had drinks and this was addressed. Um, she said, I went a year without drinking. I'm 30 something years old. If I want to drink, I can drink, which she's right. If either one of them want to drink, they can do it. If either one of them want to do put the needle to their arm, they can do it. It's their decision to do it. If they want to do it, they're grown, they can make their own decisions. But when people know about it, people are going to commentate on it. People will have their opinions. Now, back in the day, people did the pump and dump. Um, like, oh, if you drink, just pump and dump it. But I was actually doing a little bit more research into this because I saw someone else say pump and dump's not a thing anymore. You don't have to pump and dump. So I was doing a little bit of research, and you actually don't have to pump and dump if you just, unless you need to. Like, if you drink a glass of wine at dinner, um, just wait like so many hours. Like per one glass of wine, I think it's like 3 hours maybe. And for every other glass after that, like at 369, whatever. Now if you need to pump to relieve pressure, do it, but you don't actually have to pump and dump because it will leave your system and not be in your breast milk so many hours later, whatever. So you don't have to pump it up. From what I was reading, they used to tell you to do it. But apparently you don't have to do it anymore. But yeah, she did say that she drinks on occasion, after she puts the kids to bed. Yes, that girl. But let's go ahead and read this because I feel like I've gotten so off topic. Okay. Whoa, nothing's there. Okay. Okay, Marley, I'm gonna read your comment real quick. Marley says, "My doctor said if you can hold the baby, you can feed the baby. You would have to get absolutely trashed for it to stay. I don't drink, but I've always asked crazy questions." I would believe that just because I know some people that are like high functioning alcoholics. Like I know people, my cousin's ex-wife could drink it like water. Okay, like she could drink, and you would never know she had a drop. But we wouldn't want her breastfeeding because we all seen her drink a 12 pack of Bud Light. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, and she literally is a very successful woman. She has her own business, like she's a nurse, and she still drinks a lot. But she is a very functioning alcoholic. So I think it's different for everybody. Like if you're a functioning drunk drinker, um, then you should know, like, yeah, it's in my system. I may be able to act normal, present myself as fine, but I know I've drank 4 Bud Lights, so I don't need to breastfeed my baby until whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Melissa, that's true. All right, so let's read this. So, teen mom Mackenzie Edwards calls cops over argument involving ex Ryan and his parents after he breaks court order. 911 call reveals the argument that took place at Mackenzie and Ryan's marital home. That Donald Trump. Okay. We don't do politics, you guys. Somebody's going to be like, get Trump off the screen. I didn't do that. I didn't put him there. All right. Ryan and Mackenzie have been involved in a tumultuous divorce since she filed to end their marriage of 6 years in February 2023. Goodness, the sun. That's a big old ad that won't get out of my way. All right, the Tennessee judge ordered Ryan shall be given access to the marital home to inspect the premises and inventory the contents of the home. Now, so when I read that and I think he left that house just completely destroyed, and Mackenzie had to be the one to go through it and inventory what was left of her home, what was left of her and her kids' stuff. And now that she's got everything put back in perfect order, he gets to go through to say, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine, this is missing, this is missing, that's mine. I just think that is like absurd to me, but whatever. Mackenzie Edwards shall not be present during the inspection, but may designate someone to be present on her behalf. Mr. Edwards shall ensure that locked areas, including but not limited to closets, toolbox, and safes, shall be made accessible to Ryan Edwards or Mrs. Edwards. Shall ensure that locked areas, including but not limited to closets, toolboxes, and safes, shall be made accessible to Ryan Edwards to video and photograph the contents. But a dispute occurred during the inspection on March 1st, 2025, as Ryan showed up to his former marital home with his parents, Jen and Larry. Oh, thank you, Paigey. I got 6 kids, and girl, listen, that's why I'm on so live sometimes, so late sometimes, is because the kids. Like we had a parade to go to for one of our kids earlier today, so gotta get it done. The son exclusively obtained 911 calls from the incident. I think I missed. No, no, okay. The son exclusively obtained the 911 call from the incident. In one call, Mackenzie's dad, Bob Standifer, I legit, when I was first listening to it, thought his name was Pop Standifer. And I'm like, I love a man named Pop. I don't know why. But I'm like, I wish I would have named my kid Pop. That way, whenever he's a grandpa, it's like his name is Pop, but he's like Pop, whatever. Anyways, Bob Standifer says to a woman who could be heard in the background, I'm not going to argue with you folks. He then tells the 911 operator, I got folks over here that's supposed to walk through the house. Ryan Edwards is supposed to walk through the house, but he brought his parents with him. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I was Mackenzie's dad, I'd be like, you know what? Because he said, like, I don't even want to be a part of this. I don't even want to have anything to do with this. But this is literally his daughter. So she asked him, so he did it. But he's thinking, you know what? Ryan's gonna show up. We're gonna walk through the house. He can take his notes, whatever, no big deal. But then he has Jen and Larry show up, and everybody's like, Ryan needs to protect himself. What if Mackenzie says he did something? Well, now what if Ryan and Jen and Larry say, Bob, Bob, What if they say he did something? Like, what if they went home and or what if they called the cops and said, we were just there doing this and her dad did X, Y, and Z, or her dad wouldn't let me do this, or her dad. So now you have three witnesses against one person who, so honestly, I think it was the best idea to call the cops. If Bob didn't feel like this was a good idea for Jen and Larry to be there because he couldn't keep an eye on three people, why not call the cops? Why would Ryan object to it? Like, okay, fine. Yeah, call the cops. Like, you know what? Good. That way Mackenzie can't say I did anything wrong. Let's let the cops call. But to me, I'm like, why not? Honestly, if I was Ryan, I would have called the cops myself. If I was Ryan, I would have called the cops that morning saying, hey, at 1 o'clock today, I got to go to my former home to inspect and take inventory. I would like for an officer to go with me. Just because I don't want no drama. I don't want nothing said that I did X, Y, and Z. So can an officer meet me there at this time? Anyways, let me continue. He can be heard yelling out to those around him. The court says what you got to do. Bob then told the 911 operators, I knew he wouldn't do it the way he's supposed to. I got the court docs right here in my hand to inventory, to not bring anybody. And he shows up with his mom and dad. They're all going through it. See? They're all going through it. They're in the house. Jen's out here. I don't know where Larry went to. Ryan is out there in the shed out back. It doesn't say anything about him bringing a posse with him and them going through the house at the same time. And me trying to keep up with them, it's just supposed to be me and Ryan walking through the house. He then said he's had chances to come over here and get his stuff and he wouldn't do it. The divorce is still going on for 2 years now. It's like people. And here's another thing. It's like I see a lot of people like, why is the divorce lasting so long? Mackenzie. Listen, I've been keeping up with this story. I was actually trying to find a timeline again because a while back I found a timeline and I read it on one of my stories. And literally, Ryan has been the reason that divorce court has been pushed back 4 times. Four. Mackenzie was once. And what's so crazy is right after Mackenzie would not do what they wanted her to agree to something. She didn't want to agree to it. So court got pushed back. Right after that, the Sun comes out with an article that says, Ryan Edwards says Mackenzie Edwards is pushing back divorce. He just wants to move on with his life. And I'm like, I was like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure like he had court one time. He didn't show up. So they ruled in her favor. And then he like refiled. And then his lawyer quit on him. And so like, I'm like, wait a minute. Hasn't he literally been the reason that court's gotten pushed back like 4 times? Oh, thank you, TK. Thank you so much. But now the one time that she's the reason it gets pushed back, oh, it's all her fault. I'm like, that is so like what we know about Ryan, though. Like, he can do a million things wrong. And then the first time she does something wrong, oh, it's all her fault. Same with Macy. It's been the same. He did the same thing with Macy. He can do a million things wrong with Macy. And then one time maybe Macy does something. And yes, you're right. He was told by his lawyer he didn't have to go. That's true. But it didn't stop court from being pushed back. You know what I'm saying? It didn't stop court. Like, it still impacted court. So, and he can have his reasons for why, the same way Mackenzie has her reason for the one time she had it pushed back. So I just think it's just ironic, like crazy. All right. In the second 911 call, Mackenzie explained the situation to the operator and asked for the police to go to the home as she was not on the premises. And I would have done the same thing. She explained, my ex-husband has a court order that he was allowed to come inspect the property, but he's supposed to be alone and he came with someone else. My dad is there. He has a copy of the order that's signed by the judge. I just want an officer to come to make sure there's not an issue. And what is an issue with that? You want to know what people are saying about this? Oh, she just wants to be petty. Oh, she just wants to start a problem. Oh, she just wants to bring attention to herself. Like she called the cops to bring attention to herself. What? She's being petty by requesting that the cops come, to her house because her ex is there, and the last time this man was there, he destroyed everything. That's petty. I guarantee you, if it would have been Ryan showed up and it was just Mackenzie's dad there and he called the cops to say, you know what, I'm supposed to inspect the house. Can y'all come meet me here? Because like it's just her dad here and I don't feel comfortable being here with just her dad. Nobody would be saying that. Nobody would be saying, oh, Ryan's just being petty. That was uncalled for. Wasting the cops' time. I've seen that one too. She's just wasting the cops' time. This is their job. Police officers have a wide variety of duties. This is one of them. Then when you're going through a contentious divorce where there's been abuse and the man got to come to your house, yes, this is one of the things they will do. It's not wasting the police officer's time. If Ryan would have called the cops, nobody would have said that. But because she called because her dad is over there and everybody's screaming at her dad and he's screaming, everybody's screaming, and she calls, she's like, all she said was like, I just don't want no disorder. Like I just want it to be fine. Like I just want it to go the way that it should go. Oh, like you're petty. What? I hope none of these people that feel that way like have daughters, honestly. Because let me tell you, I have a daughter that's about to be 20, and she ain't always making the best decisions. Just like me when I was that young. I didn't always make the best decisions. And thank God, because I got back with my baby daddy. I had 2 kids by him as well. And I'm so much smarter today. And I look back and I'm like, wow, I was an idiot. Can't we all look back at when we were 20 and we're like, wow, we made some dumb decisions at 20? She did. And people still harp on her, but let's forgive her. And you know another one that I like? Stop living in the past. Ryan's doing better. Stop living in the past. And it's like, but y'all living in the past when y'all talking about her marrying him. Hi. That's in the past. I mean, that's longer in the past. I'm talking about the past like 2023 when he was going 100 something miles per hour on a motorcycle, or when he had just gotten out of rehab and he was in a bar and he got involved in a bar fight. I'm talking 2 years ago. Y'all talking 10 or however long ago it was. 8, 7. It's so wild. All right. I just want an officer to come to make sure there's not an issue. He's allowed to look at my house, look at the garage, inside and outside, and that's it. He can't take anything. Ryan is supposed to be by himself. The last time he was there, he destroyed my house. So I would just like somebody to be there. I just want to make sure nothing happens. No disorder or anything. There is literally nothing wrong with her wanting that. Honestly, the judge should have put this in the order. The judge should have said an officer needs to be there. Mackenzie is referring to when Ryan destroyed her home in February 2023, which Ryan has denied, but he's also admitted. The Sun reached out to the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office for comment on how the dispute was handled. Mackenzie did not respond to the U.S. Sun's request for comment. Elle Bee YouTube was the first to report on the police call. This comes after Ryan requested Mackenzie be held in contempt of court for disposing of his belongings. That's another thing. You leave the house destroyed, she has to go through it. So yeah, if she threw away some of your stuff, that's your fault. That's your fault because you're the one that did that to the house and left it up to her while she continued to mother y'all's 2 kids. Tried her best not to bring them to the house so they didn't have to witness their home in that state. She's there having to clean through it. And if she threw some of it away or sold it to help repairs, fix the house, now you want her held in contempt. You're asking that the woman that you did all of this to be held in contempt and have to pay a fine? The punishment for being held in contempt, it could be like a fine or going to jail. She ain't gonna go to jail, but she could be faced with a fine if a judge finds her guilty. I'm like, imagine that. Imagine that. Ryan Edwards destroys the house. Not just Mackenzie's stuff, but his kids' things as well. Destroys it. She has to pay thousands of dollars to fix it. Thousands of dollars to fix it. And now, because she may have sold some things to help probably either help pay for bills or help fix it, he wants her to be fine. This woman has already put out so much money to fix the home that he destroyed, and now he wants her to pay a fine? If that's not like evil, I don't know what is. And it's so funny because people's like, "Yeah, your sources." Like, "Yeah, yeah." When the Ashley reports that, that's when I'll believe it. Well, I reported it, and now look, like it happened. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not out here trying to lie to nobody. Let's listen to the 911 call, and I'm gonna read some of the comments from the call. Well, I'm like, do we even know that she threw away things on purpose, or was it just going through a massively destroyed house? You know what I'm saying? And we're taking Ryan's word too. Like, Ryan has not been there to the house. He hasn't been there up until Saturday. So he puts out a story. He puts out a story that she sold or got rid of some of his things. And I'm like, well, where do we know how he knows this? Like, is this a lie? Like, is he saying this for people to attack her because she's not telling him what's there, what's not? You know, if he's like, hey, mom, text Mackenzie, ask her where my blah, 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 blah is. And she's like, I don't know. Who knows? I'm not sure. So he's like, oh, I bet she sold it or got rid of it. Like, how do we know? Like, where is the evidence that she sold anything? I'm not saying she did or she didn't. I'm just saying this is something that Ryan said. So where, like, why do we believe it? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I hear some proof that she did, then I'll be like, okay, she did. But I'm also like, if my home was destroyed by my husband when he was in a horrific addiction that had him physically abusing me, threatening my life, putting guns to my head, assaulting me in front of our children, destroying our home. If he left, did not give me one red penny to help fix the house or to help me take care of our kids, would I maybe one day when I'm there trying to, how am I going to put this house back together? My kids are begging to come home. My kids, you know, they're tired of being at grandma's house. Like they just want to come home. Oh, you know what? I have this lawnmower. You know what? I'm going to sell the lawnmower to help do this because it's ours. It's ours. Like it's our lawnmower. We bought it together. Like everything at that house was theirs, from my understanding. They acquired it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so, if she did it, it may have even been not even with the thought. Like it may not even been like on purpose to like get at him. It may have just been like, I have no money. My kids are begging to come home. How am I going to fix this? Well, I can sell these things and it'll help me fix X, Y, and Z, and it'll help me get by for the next few weeks. I mean, we saw the messages of her asking Ryan, can you please help? Can you buy some groceries? And him not doing it. So, all right, let's find the, all right, I think this is the full one. Let me start it over. Hold on, guys. Goodness, come on. You can't understand the call? Yeah, but the things that was listed was like yeah, some of it was tools, but some of it was also like a lawnmower, a boat. Like if me and my husband are married for like 10 years and we have a boat that sits out in our yard, it's our boat. If we have a lawnmower, it's our lawnmower. Like, yeah, there were certain things that was his things, but a lot of it that he listed was like things that I would take if I like if it was me and mine would be ours. Okay, let me see if it'll there was a lot of background noise in it that I thought I tried to get out, but maybe not. Let me see if I can play it from the sun. Bear with me. I would assume the Suns would be worse, honestly. I just love ads. I hope that music's not like copyright or anything. But what is this? That ain't even the right thing. We just watched this ad for nothing. Hold on, guys. The other one bites the dust. I can understand the video you put up. You can. I could understand. Should I play it from the sun or from my post? My post? Oh, I thought you okay. Can y'all hear this one? Let me know. I thought y'all were saying y'all couldn't hear it on my post. Let me know if you can hear this one. Can understand this one? Okay. So y'all could understand the one on my video? Alright, bear with me. Bear with me. Yes?
That sounds like it's glitching out.
What about this one? Oh, never mind. Not this one either? Okay. You know what? On YouTube. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Okay, we're gonna play it from YouTube. You guys bear with me. Maybe this one will work. We'll see.
That he's allowed to come inspect the property, but he's supposed to be alone, and he came with someone else, and my dad is there. He has a copy of the order signed by Judge Hedrick, but I just want an officer to come just to make sure that there's not an issue.
You say he has a court order to inspect the property?
Yes. He is allowed to look at my home and look at the garage inside and outside, and that's it. He can't take anything.
Is he there right now?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not allowed to be at the home per our agreement and the court order, and Ryan's just supposed to be by himself. But the last time he was there, he destroyed my house, so I just would like somebody to be there.
Okay, so you're not allowed on the premises per court order?
For this inspection. It's my home.
Hamilton County 911 location of the emergency.
Yes, ma'am. It's a domestic thing, I guess. I don't know. This is Bob Standifer. I'm over here. Well, I'm not going to argue with you, folks. I got folks over here that's supposed to walk through the house, and Ryan Edwards is supposed to walk through the house, but he brought his parents with him, and the court document says he's supposed to walk through it. And so I just kind of don't want to.
Okay, what's the address, sir?
Well, that's fine, Ryan. The court can say what you got to do. I don't know what the address is here at my daughter's house. But, let me walk out here in the mailbox. See, I knew he wouldn't do it the way he's supposed to do it. The court, I've got the court documents right here in my hand. And it says for him to come over here inventory and not to bring anybody. And he shows up with his mom and dad. They're all going through it like.
And what was your name?
Bob Standifer. It's Ryan Edwards and Mackenzie Edwards is the name of the property.
Okay. Phone number?
Yeah, well,
Okay. Where are they now?
I don't know. They're in the house. So Jen's not. Jen's out here. But I don't know where Larry went to. Ryan's, I don't know where Ryan's. I guess Ryan's out there in the shed out back.
What are they doing? Going through the house, taking stuff, or?
Well, no, they're not supposed to do that. But the court documents, because I didn't want to get into all this, but the defendant, Ryan Edwards, shall be given access to the marital home to inspect premises and inventory the contents of the home. The date and time, which is going to be today. And this is Mackenzie will not be present. Someone should be present on her behalf, which is me. And this is Ms. Edwards shall ensure that the locked areas, including not limited to closets, toolboxes, safes, everything be accessible to Ryan Edwards to view and photograph. It doesn't say anything about him being a posse with him, for all of them to go through at the same time, and me trying to keep up with them.
Okay.
It's just supposed to be me and Ryan to walk through the house and document, film, whatever he wanted to do.
And is there a TPO, like a order of protection in place, or?
I don't know. I know they were, at one time. And that's the reason they can't be at the same place, kind of thing, in my understanding. I tried to stay out of it. It's been going on for 2 years. He's had chances to come over here and get his stuff, and he wouldn't do it, and he's just been dragging. I mean, the divorce is still going on for 2 years now, and it's like people, it just wouldn't show up and stuff.
So people was like, she's the reason the divorce is, still dragging on. And it's like there was like one thing that she calls to push it back. One thing. And it was to protect her kids because she didn't want to do a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? But the 4 times that he calls it to be pushed back, not a problem. So go ask Mackenzie why the divorce is being pushed back. Like, what? I'm like, there's been a couple of things, yeah, like recently, she was watching a show called Scamanda, and she posted it on her Instagram story. And she was like, I know how this ends. And people was up in arms about it. See, she just won't shut up. She just won't stop. And I'm like, literally, she hasn't said anything in months. This girl ain't said nothing in months. Like, and Amanda has. Like, a story come out about, her not, her being the reason the divorce hasn't happened. Amanda dressing up as her for Halloween. Like so many things happen, and she hadn't said nothing. But any little time that she does do any little thing, everybody's just up in arms. She won't stop. She won't let it go. I'm gonna read some of the comments from that video because it is insane to me. I'm like, wow, I hope none of these people have a daughter that this happens to, that the daughter is unaware that the man is addicted to H. She thinks he has a prescription for Xanax, and come to find out it's H. And then right after they get married, he's off to rehab. And then she's thrown to film at a reunion where people's in her ear. Well, I think there's things that can be taken, and I will tell you behind the scenes she has. Behind the scenes things happen that like I hear, but I even literally recently things happen. And Mackenzie's trying. Like Mackenzie wanted to make sure that Ryan was going to be okay well enough. That a judge gave him supervised visits. Mackenzie didn't do that. A judge did. And you want to know why a judge did? Because he looked at Ryan's history. He looked at Ryan's history. He looked at the fact that Ryan has been struggling with this for a while, that Ryan was physical with his wife, that Ryan threatened to unalive his wife. That was a recorded phone call. There was a recorded phone call where he threatened her. There was also a text message where he threatened her. Not only her, but it sounded like he threatened the kids too, because he said, once I'm done with that house, no one will make it out alive. Something along those lines, right? A judge gave him supervised visits. She took out a restraining order right after she filed for separation. She took out a restraining order. She had to because, well, he was, calling her at work and threatening her at work, showing up at the house, doing crazy things. So she took out a restraining order. I can tell you, as somebody that keeps up with this, I see things happen way more on Amanda's side publicly. I see way more like publicly because when Amanda dressed up as Mackenzie for Halloween, like Mackenzie had not said anything in a while. She didn't say anything afterwards. And I'm like, dude, if that would have been me, I would have been so livid. Like, you're gonna make fun of me? You can dress up as me in my outfit that I wear to raise my kids. Not only my kids, but Ryan's kids, the man that you're with, that he don't pay a dime for. You're gonna make fun of me? Like, I probably would have said something, but she didn't. Yeah, she was watching a show called Scamanda recently, and she took a picture and she just said, I know how this ends. LOL. Everybody up in arms. But that's the first time that she said anything publicly in a while. Since before Mackenzie dressed up as her. He just recently was ordered to pay child support. Just recently. All right, so let me read some of the comments because it's honestly, I have responses to some of these. And two, I feel like, like David Eason don't like him. But he's dating a girl named Kinley. And Kinley did like a Q&A. And she was like, ask me questions. And somebody said, what do you think about Janelle, David's ex? And she said, I have nothing to say about her. I don't know her. I don't know what happened in their relationship. I was not there. I know nothing. So I have nothing to say about her. And I thought, that girl is like 25. She's like 25 years old and was mature and smart enough to know, I don't know what happened in their relationship. I can't sit here and just defend my man when I'm only getting one side. So publicly, I should say nothing. There's kids involved. If I want to get on this hate train to hate Mackenzie because my fiance hates her, how is that going to benefit anything? How is it going to make anything better? You know what I'm saying? Kinley, 25 years old. She literally was like, I have nothing to say about Janelle. Nothing to say about the relationship. Nothing to say about what went on between them because I was not there. And I was like, that is so respectable. And I admire that. Because I've been the woman that when my older kid's dad gets a new boo and he got one of those letters saying your child support and he got mad, the new boo is Facebooking. Oh, why have kids if you didn't want to pay for them? Are you talking to me or him? No, she was talking to me. She was talking to me. She literally and she'd only been dating him for a few months. Mind you, I went and dropped it because I had done it several times and did it again. But he gets a letter saying your license is about to be suspended because you're so much in arrears again. Like, you need to pay child support. No, she jumps on Facebook talking about, I don't know why you want to come for him for child support. Why, why have so many kids if you don't want to take care of them? I'm like, is she not so dense to think of how that could be applied to him? Meanwhile, I am taking care of them. I'm taking care of them 100%. And I had to call him and be like, can you get your girl? Because she don't know what she's talking about. And then, like dummy me, went and dropped the child support because I didn't want my kids to go to jail. I don't like being rude, probably because she's afraid Janelle's going to threaten charges on her. Threatening, first off, Janelle cannot do diddly squat for somebody saying, I don't like her. Janelle can threaten. Kinley is mature. I watch her. I follow her. She has a decent job. No, I don't know why she's with David. That's a question she's answered. And she says, what everybody sees is not what I see. He treats me great. He's not mean to me. We don't fight. He's wonderful to me. Blah, 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 blah. But, just knowing what we know from David, I would have never got with him. But Kinley is a businesswoman. Like, she works. She's not so dumb to be like, oh, I can't say what I want to say because she's going to threaten charges on me. First off, Janelle is a liar too. Janelle threatened charges on Kinley when she was told by the police already she could not press any charges on Kinley because Kinley did nothing wrong. Kinley was escorted by the police. The only reason David got in trouble for it was because there was a no contact order in place. If there would have been a no contact order in place, David would have been well within his rights because he went to the police. He went to the police and said, I want to go there. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is Kinley's not so dumb to think that. Kinley did not get involved because Kinley's smart. That's why. Because there's some women that think that. There's some women that have the common sense to say, you know what? I know what my boyfriend tells me, my fiance tells me, but I wasn't there. So I'm not going to make a public statement about it. Because why would I? Why would I make a public statement about how much I don't like somebody when I don't know this person? I only know what my boyfriend's telling me, and I'm sure I'm only getting one side. Smart people know that there's his side, her side, and the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I don't like the type where, the girlfriend starts dating. What's that saying? Nobody will go harder for a deadbeat dad than the new girlfriend. And it's like, that is so true. Exactly. And the bed and board was no longer even in place. So technically, I don't even know how he could get in trouble for that. Janelle's threatened me and it don't stop me. Let's read some of the comments because I'm just, ugh. And then I'm going to end it out because I carried on for over an hour. Let's see. I do agree with some of them. Ryan needs to be a man and stop dragging his mommy and his daddy into his crap show. And somebody said they were there as his witnesses. Anyone in their right mind wouldn't go do that alone if their court order didn't state that they had to. Yeah, but bringing mommy and daddy versus being an adult and calling the cops and saying, I want a cop as my witness, that's what I think should have happened. A cop, because me bringing mommy and daddy, they're his enablers. They will lie for him. They will go to bat for him. So if I was Mackenzie, I wouldn't want Jen and Larry to be the witnesses either. I would want somebody that I know if Ryan did do something. If I came home to my house and something was missing and I said, hey, something was missing, the cop could be like, oh, well, yeah, actually, I did see him take that. Or the cop could be like, no, nothing's missing. I watched him the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Bringing his parents is intentional. Right. I think that as well. Somebody said that mom and dad are the problem. All right. Somebody said people need to know how court orders work. Look at the laws on this. If I have a court order to go to my wife's house, If I'm court ordered that I can go, am I legally allowed to bring anybody with me? Here's your answer. No. If a court order states that you are allowed to go to your wife's house, then you are allowed to go. You are not permitted to bring anyone else, as this would directly violate the terms of the order. I don't know this for sure. I would love to talk to a lawyer to see, like, if it says you can go, does that mean you can bring somebody? It didn't specify either way. Now, Bob and Mackenzie said it did specify that he had to come alone, but they didn't read anything in the order that stated that. So would you assume he can, or would you assume it only states him, so that only means him? Brandy, do you watch the same show that we watch? Do you keep up with this? What? Do you know how many things Ryan has done to jeopardize his relationship with Bentley? His parents can't stop him. And they know that. And he knows that. What would happen is they might get mad and be like, dang it. And then they would cover for him. That's what would happen. I'm like, Brandy, like, I could probably go back and watch a million clips of when Macy was tending to Bentley and Ryan did things that jeopardized them getting to see Bentley. His father tried to fight Taylor. like they all have done things to jeopardize their relationship with Bentley and their relationship with the kids. Maybe you're just like not remembering some things, but his what? Like, and I really don't know how that would jeopardize that. If first off, if they were that worried, then they wouldn't have went. If it because that honestly, it goes against what you're saying. Because if Jen and Larry were so concerned with upsetting Mackenzie and losing visitation, which first off, they can't because it's court ordered. They have court order visitation. So no matter what, even if Mackenzie gets mad about something, they have court order visitation every other weekend. So it doesn't matter if Mackenzie gets mad. But if Mackenzie could stop visitation, them going alone would have been my worry. Like, no, you're supposed to go call a cop to come with you. We don't want to go because we don't want to cause any problems. She might not want all three of us there, but she can't stop it. Yeah. No, I don't think so either. If she was going to use the kids as leverage, then why the second her and Ryan split up was she still letting Jen and Larry see the kids? She was still letting Jen and Larry see the kids from the moment that they split up, you know? Yep, they literally said that Ryan is their one and only son, their one and only child, and they will always put him first. They said that on the show, that he will come before everybody. Same, Faye, same. Same. Girl, he's had other sober moments. It doesn't take much for Ryan to turn sober or not. You don't need someone who's enabled addiction for years to help in any possible conflict. Exactly. Exactly. It should have been a neutral person, like a police officer. And if I was Ryan or Mackenzie, either one of them, that's what I would have wanted. I would have said, let me bring a police officer with me. That would have been the best bet. So if I get home and she tries to say something's missing, I can say, I had a cop with me, girlfriend. No, you're not gonna do that. You know? Okay, let's see. So if the court order states you are allowed to go to your wife's house, then you are not permitted to bring anyone else, as this would directly violate the terms of the order. Doing so could result in legal consequences. I've been in domestic situations with my ex, so I know the courts very well in the situation. If Ryan felt uncomfortable, he legally should have just picked up the phone and had a police officer escort him over there. He knows darn well his parents were not supposed to go over there. It doesn't matter if they sit in the car, a court order is there for a reason. Then somebody responded, they can come and sit in the car to witness her craziness all they want. She's just catty. She wasn't even there. They just want to protect their son from the lies. Why don't they protect him from the stuff that's really harmful to him? She's been doing it since they split. Doing what? Everybody's like, Mackenzie won't shut up. And I'm like, am I missing something? Like, because I feel like Amanda talks way more than Mackenzie. Like, I see way more videos that I feel like is done within, like, intentionally to get at Mackenzie. I know things that's happening behind the scenes, things being said in front of the kids and things like that. And just from what I'm hearing, Ryan, his mom, like all these things that's happening behind the scenes. And I feel like the only person that, yes, she has done a couple of things publicly a couple of times, but I feel like Amanda's done stuff way more. And here's, you know what's crazy? Mackenzie could deactivate all her social medias right now and not say anything for a full year. Nothing. And people would still say, she's bitter, she's jealous, she wants attention. Like Amanda said when she was on the live with reality TV with Ray, she was like, if she's not getting a pity party, then if she's not the victim, then she's got a problem. And I'm like, do you know how much stuff Mackenzie could come out with to tell the world that could show what kind of victim she truly was? Stuff I've been told by people that know her that she has not put out there. It's so funny because you want to know how much Mackenzie's painted the victim by people? 90% of people love Ryan and Amanda and support them and think that Mackenzie's a B because of she deserved it because she let him drive high to the wedding and because what she said to Macy. I'm like, we so mad at her for what that letter she read to Macy, but we not mad at Ryan for the way he treated Macy for 16 years. We not mad at Ryan for the way he treated Bentley for 16 years. We not mad at Ryan for none of that. We just mad at Mackenzie for that letter. And a couple of times she said something to Macy. Mind you, she had people in her ear. The same way right now, Amanda hates Mackenzie so much. You want to know why? Because Ryan, Jen, and Larry is filling that girl's head with everything. Everything's Mackenzie's fault. 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 It's the same thing when Mackenzie was married to Ryan. When she would go to their house, Macy, Macy, Macy. It's Macy's fault. It's Macy this. It's Macy that. It's Macy this. It's Macy that. Of course, she had an issue with Macy. She thought Macy was, keeping Ryan. And, she's married to this guy, and he's telling her he's sober during times that he's not. And she's trying to fight so he could see his son. And Macy is knowing different that maybe he's not sober because she's hearing things in the background. And she's like, no, not going to let that happen. And Mackenzie's like, dang, she's just not trying to work with us. She's just not trying to work with us. Victim shaming is disgusting. I agree. Yes. She's been doing it since they split. And I'm like, I would really like for people to tell me they've been split for almost 2 years. Like, I want to hear just a few things that she's done. Just a few things that, tell me what she's done. Like, I'm curious. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could ever talk to somebody that says this, I would be like, well, what has she done? Because I'm missing it. As somebody that covers them, that keeps up with the situation, like, what has she done? That I can't turn around and say that has been done way more to her. True, baby. He's just being smart and sounds like everyone's civil. So I don't know why your undies are in such a bunch airing dirty laundry like you're so proud. And surprise, every order could be different. But I'm sure you are okay with your man calling you a dumbass or a stupid ass playing around. I don't know what that meant. Everybody's like, he read the order. It didn't say that Ryan had to be alone. And I'm like, did he read the whole order? Was that the whole order? Did it say that and he didn't just read it? Did it say he had to be there alone and he just didn't read that part because he started talking? Or did it not say that, but it was assumed that he had to be there alone because it just said Ryan Edwards can come at this date, this time? Yeah, I got something to say about that too. I am so glad you brought this up, Brandy. She was taking pictures of him in active addiction, not enough, giving them to TikTok creators because she didn't know, right? No, this was at the end of their relationship. This was towards the end. Oh, I so want to touch on this. I'm so glad you brought this up. Let me tell you. when you're with someone in active addiction that is beating your butt, accusing you of cheating, coming home accusing you of cheating, and maybe physically assaulting you in front of your kids, and then, the next day is like, "You're lying. I didn't do that. You're crazy. You're crazy." Or when you're driving home from Walmart, they're like, "I passed by a man's house and saw you at the man's house. You sleeping with that man?" And you're like, "I'm literally on my way home from Walmart. I just got groceries. What are you talking about?" "No, you was at a man's house an hour ago. I passed by there. I know I saw it." When you have somebody doing that and you're like, "You're clearly like relapsed." "No, I'm not. You're crazy." "No, like, can you please get help? Like, you're accusing me of things I'm not doing. You're getting physical with me." I would record too. And you want to know another reason why I record? Amber Portwood, Andrew Glennon. Amber Portwood, Andrew Glennon. Because if you are in a relationship where somebody is dangerous and you have children with that person, and that child is in active addiction, and you have children with that person, guess what? You can't just leave that person and say, "Oh, judge, well, he's abusive and he's in active addiction. So can my kids please not go? Like, can you please not give him 50-50? Can you please give him supervised visits?" You need proof of that. You need proof that this man is in active addiction. You need proof that this man is assaulting you. You need proof of all these things. So just like Andrew Glennon secured proof, and you want to know what? He walked away with his baby. You want to know what? Mackenzie walked away with her kids, and Ryan got supervised visits, which great by the grace of God. And honestly, it's good that he went and got help, because say he wouldn't have got help, say they just would have split up, he would have moved in with his parents, and she did not have this evidence, and he would have gotten the ability to have the kids every other weekend on his own without supervision while he's in active addiction. Nodding off. Nodding off. So let me tell you, you get in a relationship like that, or you know somebody that's in a relationship like that, you understand why they do it. It makes so much sense. Exactly, Sarah. I can tell you why that too. So then why not take pics and videos of your abuse and give to people, him, not him, not him, not him. Okay, so I'm sure that went to the judge, right? I'm sure that went to the judge first. But we are creators that cover these people. A lot of times these people will see our content and maybe reach out to us to correct something. Like I've had Kate and Ty do it to me. I've had Kale do it to me, or not even to correct, but to say thank you for saying that because you looked at this in a different way. Like I get attacked by a lot of people, and you like said things in a way that like how I see them. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times when you do this, you have people reach out to you. And I think that's what happened with reality TV with Ray and Mackenzie. Somehow they got into communication with each other. Reality TV with Ray, I'm just gonna call her Ray. She was covering Mackenzie and Ryan. I don't know if she reached out to Mackenzie first or Mackenzie reached out to her, but they started talking. Ray was on Mackenzie's side. Ray will tell you that. Ray will say she used to go to bat for Mackenzie. So Mackenzie, poor thing, has this creator that's putting out content, taking up for her. Meanwhile, 90% of other creators is bashing her and kissing Ryan and Amanda's butt, bashing her. So she's got this one creator that she feels like, oh, well, they're kind of friends, and this girl takes up for her. Mackenzie may be like, and people don't understand. Like, I get so much hate, and this is what I, put up with. Like, everybody wants to act like, I was this horrible person, but this is what I was dealing with. Like this is the reason I got supervised. So Mackenzie, unfortunately, become friendly with a creator and started trusting her and started probably talking to her about what she was dealing with and shared some of those things with her. She didn't send it to Ray to share with other people. Ray said that. Ray said, I'm not going to show you guys this. So she didn't do it. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it is because Amanda was on with Ray yesterday. So they do talk. I don't think they had that. Ray don't. Yeah. So, and that makes me so sad, honestly, because I'm like, I am a very small YouTube creator, and I have gotten close with people before, like moderators of mine, and then I do something that they didn't like, and they flip on me and start sharing text messages between me and them, stuff to try to paint me in a bad light, twisting what I said, sharing it out of context to make it look like I said something in a way that I really didn't say it. And I'm like, I'm just a small content creator that now I am very hesitant to who I trust and talk to. Like, I don't talk to hardly anybody about my kids, about my family, because I'm like, oh my God, like I've done that before. And then people turn around and people that I thought I was cool with. And then the people turn around and try to use stuff against me that I told them because I felt like we were friends. So I'm like, Mackenzie probably felt like her and this girl had become friendly, and this girl's taking up for her. So Mackenzie's probably like, yeah, I went through so much that people don't know about. I get attacked all the time. People telling me that I'm bitter, that I just want fame, that I'm doing this for attention. Meanwhile, like this is what I went through. Look at this. I don't understand your comment. I'm not saying she did it for anyone to show it, because why not send pictures and videos of the abuse? We don't know that she didn't. What if she did? What if she did? What if she did and that just wasn't shown? You know what I'm saying? The only thing that was shown was that. But I'm like, I completely understand why she would take videos and evidence. Because for one, I'm sure when she goes to Jen and Larry and says, I think Ryan's relapsed, he's passing out and falling asleep again. They're like, oh no, he seemed good when I talked to him. He's been doing so good. No, I doubt it. Maybe he's just tired. He's probably just tired from working. He works so hard. He's just tired. So she needs this evidence probably for them, for her, for the judge if she leaves. Thank you, babe. Yeah. Well, that's my thing is like, you know what we saw? I get it, because when we're like, we have a source, we think, well, our source is going to tell us the truth, right? Well, like Amanda was saying on the live that Mackenzie's parents were there. Mackenzie's parents were there, but it wasn't Mackenzie's parents. It was just Mackenzie's dad. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes even when we have a source, we can get things kind of wrong. I've done it before. I've done it before too. And I've had to go back and like double check with my source and be like, did you say this? And then I'm like, come back and like, hey, this was a misunderstanding. My bad, guys. Let's see. Read some of the comments and then we will end it. She's so damn annoying. How is this annoying? This man destroyed her house. He shows up with his parents. Her dad can't watch all three of them. So they call and just request an officer to be there to watch. How is that annoying? I'm sure the court order does only say Ryan's name, but I don't think it specifically says he has to go alone. WTF. Wasn't Mac's parents there for hers? No, it was just Mac's dad. Why do they want him to be alone so bad? Somebody said so they can pin something on him and put him in jail. Do y'all know how much crap this girl got on him? And I know I don't know everything. I only know of like a few other things that's never been put out publicly that are horrific. That, maybe she could have put him in jail for the abuse. She could have put him in, like, she could have pressed charges on him for the gun thing, for, threatening her. All she did when she left, she filed for a restraining order. That's what she did. She didn't go to the cops and say, I want to press charges on this man for threatening me. Here's the evidence that he threatened me. She went to the police and said, I want to get a TRO because I feel like I'm in danger. And you have to have proof that you're in danger. So she provided proof that he had threatened her life. Now, here in Louisiana, the DA might take that up and press charges anyways. But in Tennessee, I guess they don't. You have the right to choose if you want to file charges. So everybody's like, oh, so she can pin something on him. All the times that she could have got him for something, she didn't. The only thing she ever got him with was she got the restraining order. Then he violated it. But when he violated it, I think her dad was the one that called. I don't even think it was her. And then when he ended up in jail, he ends up in jail. There's a restraining order. The only way he can talk to his kids is when they're at his parents' house. So he wants Mackenzie to drop the restraining order so he can talk to the kids more than just when they're at his parents' house. So she does that. She goes to his next hearing. She contacts his attorney beforehand and says, hey, I'll drop the restraining order because his mom reached out to me and said that he wanted to be able to talk to the kids more. So I'll drop the restraining order so he can call them. Because at this point, after they separated, Jen and Larry was getting the kids like once a month or something. So he was only talking to the kids like once a month. He asked his mom, can you ask Mackenzie to drop the restraining order so I can talk to the kids? She did that. And everybody's like, she's so bitter. She just wants to see him fail. And I'm like, she just wants to pin him and put him in jail. And I'm like, but she's never put him in jail. She's never actively filed charges on him. Like the only thing she ever did was when he violated the TRO by showing up at her house. And I think her dad like called and reported that. And I promise you, if anything did happen and there was no proof, they say, why didn't she call the police then? Exactly. I can't address this because I've gotten like direct confirmation on this. So the court, okay, so when they went to court recently where the judge allowed the kids to be around Amanda, that was a child support hearing only. So when they went to court in December, they agreed on everything except how and when Amanda would be introduced to the kids. Ryan wanted it like right then to where the kids could jump right in and meet Amanda. Mind you, this is in December. October 31st, Amanda dressed up as Mackenzie and made fun of her. October 31st. In November, there was another thing too. She went on a TikTok and she said a couple of things. Then December 3rd, I think it was, they go to court. And she's like, he wants like unsupervised visits. He wants for him and Amanda to be able to get the kids every other weekend at their house. And she's like, no. She's like, I'm not opposed to the kids meeting Amanda, but I want it to be a slow transition to where, first off, I would like for you to start doing your overnight visits with them. Like, you don't even take advantage of what you have. You don't even do your overnight visits. So how about you start doing overnight visits with them? We can work Amanda in to go into your parents' house, seeing them at your parents' house when you're there as well. That way, it will be with Jen and Larry supervised. He did not want that. He wanted it right then, the kids to just be thrown in with him and Amanda. So she declined that. She said, no, I would like for this to be a slow transition. There's already been a lot on our kids in the past 2 years. There's been a lot of change. It's been me and you split up. It's been us having to move in with somebody else while we fix our house. It's been us move back into our house. It's been daddy come back home, move in with Mimi and whatever, living with Amanda, new girlfriend, now him, his own house. There's been a lot of change, right? So she's like, I just want it to be a slow transition, something they're used to. He didn't agree on that. So their hearing was pushed back until May. And for that reason, no order was made for child support as well. So Mackenzie went and filed for another child support order because she's like, I'm not waiting until May. Like it's already been over a year and he's not paying child support. So she went and like refiled for child support, filed another filing for their child support to be heard. And they set it for February. That was a child support hearing. That's all that it was. It was a child support hearing. Now, Mackenzie knew that Amanda was going to be giving birth to the baby soon, whatever. So she went to that hearing and she told her attorney, I will be okay with Amanda being around the kids just as so long as it's at Jen and Larry's while Ryan's doing his supervised visits. So like from now on, when Ryan goes and the kids are there, Amanda can be there and they can meet her. You know, she's about to have the baby, whatever, like whatever. She just didn't want it like them thrown into like Ryan and Amanda's house, not supervised. They have, you know, Amanda's son that she just got and then a new baby and it just be too much. And these kids be in a place they're unfamiliar with. So she wanted it to be supervised and she wanted to be a slow transition. But when she went into that hearing, that's what she said. She said, I'm okay with the meeting Amanda. I just wanted to be at Jenna Larry's house, supervised visits. So she brought that up. She brought that forth for that hearing. I doubt Ryan was honest with Amanda about that, but Amanda wasn't there. So she probably thinks the judge made that decision out of nowhere. But no, Mackenzie brought that up and offered that, and Ryan accepted. So when they were before the judge, Mackenzie's attorney told the judge that they had agreed on that, and the judge said, okay. He does not. Ryan still has supervised visits. But if Amanda wouldn't, I don't know why I keep calling her Amanda. If Mackenzie wouldn't have come up with that offer in the February hearing, the judge would not have made any decision on Amanda being around the kids until their May hearing with their divorce. Really ask yourself, okay, is a judge going to rule on the girlfriend being around at a child support hearing or maybe at a divorce hearing? What makes more sense? A child support hearing or a divorce hearing? Anyways, it doesn't say he can't have anyone with him. He wanted his parents as a witness, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him for wanting a witness. I don't blame him for wanting his parents as a witness, but I blame Mackenzie for not wanting him to have his parents there as a witness. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're going to take his side, they're not going to be a neutral party. Agreeing to that visitation stipulation shows that Mackenzie was willing to encourage a relationship with Ryan's new sibling and that sibling's mama. Yeah, and there's been other things that I'm hearing in the background that things like that's happening. Yes, they had them at Jenna Larry's. When Amanda, yes, when she put that video out of like Stella doing her makeup and she showed that they had Maverick and all that, that was at Jenna Larry's house. Yeah, their divorce is still not final. I don't know, Kelly. I know, Dana, right? But everybody's like, she won't get over it. Okay, his home, his garage, his property as well. All this woman has done is show her immaturity and vindictiveness and her level of stupidity. And I'm like, what are people talking about? How is Mackenzie showing that? People don't know what's going on behind the scenes because she's not telling everybody. She's not telling people, hey, I came up with that offer because you know what? I am trying to move on with my life. I just wanted to make sure that this new woman that Ryan was bringing into his life that literally has a very concerning past was going to stick around and she was going to be sober and that she was going to be a good person to be around my kids. That's why I was protecting my kids. It wasn't because I'm bitter. It wasn't because I want Ryan back. It wasn't because I'm jealous. It wasn't because they're living a life that I wish I had with him. No, it's because my kids. This woman's putting her kids first and everybody's saying all these horrible, nasty things about her. Like this woman that said this, like she's showing her immaturity and vindictiveness and level of stupidity. I would be like, how? Ryan has, dealt with addiction for years, was not a good daddy to Bentley, was more like an uncle. Literally, Macy herself never allowed Ryan to have visitation that wasn't supervised. But now Mackenzie wants supervised visits and everybody's up in arms. She chose him 100%. He wasn't fully aware. It's insane. She chose him 100%. He wasn't even fully aware as he was in a drug-like state. He wasn't even in. So it's like, let's give Ryan a pass that he married Mackenzie because he wasn't even aware of what he was doing. He was so messed up on age. Like he gets a pass because he was out of his mind high on age. She was full aware of what she was doing, so she's the bad one. Okay. So you know what? Whenever something happens to your kids, and okay, so if your kid is involved in a situation where they're riding around with a friend and they're both drinking and the friend is drunker than Cooter Brown, but your son's drinking too, and then a wreck happens and the friend gets in a wreck and kills your son, it's like, oh, they were both drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's not how, what? Like, yeah, Mac didn't shove those drugs down his throat and in his veins. I'm sure if she could have her way, she would still be controlling him, still have him comatose on drugs. It's sad. First off, she left. She filed for divorce. She left. She filed for a restraining order. She took pictures and videos of him to show him, this is what you're doing. Please quit. People think that she forced this man to be in a comatose state. That is disgusting. And I hope this person, if you have kids and they have to deal with a partner that has addiction, I hope that nobody ever blames your child for that person's addiction, saying, oh, well, I'm sure her daughter kept him in a comatose state so she could blow all their money. Like, what? She was literally a wall between Bentley and Ryan and enjoy the drama, enjoy the brokenness. First off, from what I'm being, and let me tell you, I talked to people that know both of them that have said, yes, like Mackenzie may have seemed like irritated on the show a lot, like she was mad, in a bad mood, because she was at times. But she tried really hard to help Ryan fix that relationship. Like she did reach out to Macy. She did. There's even Macy on the show saying, we have a restraining order. I can't talk to Ryan. So I talk to Mackenzie all the time. I facilitate things with Mackenzie. Me and Mackenzie talk. If Mackenzie didn't want Ryan to have a relationship with Bentley, she wouldn't have been talking to Macy. She would have been like, no, you got a restraining order on my husband, so I'm not talking to you. Oh, well, brick wall, waterfall. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this girl could still talk to Macy, tried to set things up. I mean, if she was trying to be a wall, then when Macy messaged her and said, hey, we're going to have Bentley a party at the zoo, you guys can come, she would have never told her. She would have never told Ryan. She wouldn't have told him. If she was really trying to keep Ryan, I mean, as his wife, how does that look? You guys really, I mean, that's stupid, honestly. Mackenzie's on TV already getting bashed. It would be stupid of her to really try to, like, not encourage the relationship with Bentley and Ryan. You know what I'm saying? I have literally been told, like, from people that know both of them, that Ryan was scary in his addiction. Scary, that he done horrific things to her. And I think about the Ashley Jones siren situation from Teen Mom, how Barr did that to her. And when we were reading the report of what happened, we were all just like, oh my God, that's so scary. Imagine that. That's so scary. And now we all side with Ashley and we're all like, Barr's a scary person. That, like, he's a crappy person for doing that. We all side with her. And here we got Mackenzie that has, God only knows how many instances of things that he did to Mackenzie, like Barr did to Ashley. But everybody's on Ryan's side. He did say that, yeah. Elle, I'm with you. I have no idea how anyone with kids or common sense couldn't see what's happening here. It's absolutely wild to see how many people can excuse and make excuses for Ryan. It is wild. Exactly. It's like, stop living in the past. He's sober now. Well, y'all living in the past talking about she married him high. Y'all living in the past talking about that letter she read to Macy. Like, anyways, this story gets me in my feels a little bit. And I know people have different opinions. That's fine. And I know I'm going to have people say, you're just a hater. You just hate Ryan and Amanda. You just don't want to see them do good. First off, I have 6 kids. I definitely want to see them do good. I can want to see Ryan and Amanda do good and hope for them to maintain sobriety and hope for them to be happy and healthy and still acknowledge Mackenzie and what she has been through and why I understand her side. And please don't comment that, oh my gosh, you're so obsessed, get out of the life. It's weird what you do when you're over there on other people's channels supporting this, because literally I've seen people do this. Somebody did this to me. So somebody that, because I was watching Ray's live when she had Amanda on, I was watching it, and there was somebody that was on Ray's live, like talking it up, you know, big time. Oh, we love you, Amanda. We love you and Ryan, which that's whatever. That's good. Love them. I don't care. And then come to my comment section on TikTok and said something about what I do is disgusting, like getting all up in people's lives. And I'm like, Girl, you are like, the only reason you don't like what I do is because you don't agree with my opinion. I think that's called like a red herring, where you don't actually have a problem with what I do. You have a problem with my opinion because you were all up on the live with Amanda with another creator who does the exact same thing that I do. She just has a different opinion. Mary says, I'm not ashamed to say I hate Ryan, but Elle Bee is much nicer than me. I'm an alcoholic who doesn't drink anymore. Would not give any right, would not give B any right to behaviors like Ryan. It triggers me because people cannot be objective to save their lives. I don't even like Mackenzie like that, but wrong is wrong. Exactly. If he's in a comatose state, then he's not working. What money is he making going towards his next fix? Only reason Ryan isn't a gutter is because he leeches off people in his life. I don't get people victim shaming her. She's moving on. Yeah, that's my thing. Is I'm like, what is she really doing? I do have an opinion on this artist. So the reason Mackenzie was such a mean girl to Macy is because she had Jenna, Larry, and Ryan in her ear, feeding her stuff about Macy. The same way Jen, Larry, and Ryan is in Amanda's ear, feeding her stuff about Mackenzie. The thing about Mackenzie is Jen and Larry would never say any, like, Jen and Larry was very cautious and conscious, like, of the cameras and what they said on the show about Macy, because unless they got really ticked off about Macy, they would not say anything about Macy. That's why you only see them like really go off about Macy just a couple of times. However, they talked a lot about Macy, a lot, to Mackenzie. But Mackenzie is the type of person, if she thinks you're doing wrong, she'll say that. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, that's so true. Every story we hear of a girl losing her life begins just like this: DV, trashed house, escalating threats. She is in danger. And you know, he put a gun to her head, gun to her chest, knife to her back. Like, exactly. Macy was the meal ticket to MTV. Let's see. There was one other thing that I wanted to. I've been going so long. I can talk about this so long though. And she did not know that Ryan had told several people around him that he was taking Xanax and had a prescription for it. That's what and you know, like the wedding scene when she cut the cameras off, but the audio picked up for a minute. She was like, "You took Xanax?" And he was like, "No, I didn't." She was like, "Yes, you did." And he said, "No, I swear on my kids." And she was like, "Yes, you did, Ryan," because she thought he was taking Xanax. She was not familiar with drugs. She did not grow up around drugs. Same with me. I actually grew up with a parent that was an addict, but still was very dumb when it come to drugs. Like, I was prescribed the lowest doses of Xanax, and it had me looking like Ryan at work. I was managing a finance company. I was a single parent, and I started having panic attacks. So my doctor prescribed me the lowest doses of Xanax. I would take it right before I left to go to work. I had like a 20-minute drive. By the time I got to work and got down at my desk, like within 10 minutes, I'm like, thankfully, I was a manager, so I did not have a supervisor looking at me like, what the hell's going on with you? I had an assistant manager and a CSR that I could say, guys, I don't know what's wrong with me. And they weren't looking at me crazy. You know, my third day taking the medicine, getting to work, and feeling that way was when it hit me. Maybe it's the medicine I'm taking. So I went back to the doctor, told them, and they said, that's because I said, can you put me on a lower dose? It's knocking me out. And they said, that's the lowest dosage that there is of that. We can't put you on a lower dosage. So I've had a lot of people comment that in my comment section as well about Xanax does that to them too. So she had no knowledge of it. She's being told by him that he has a prescription and that it's Xanax. She thinks that's what it is. She found out later that it was that. And then he went to rehab. Yes. Oh, for sure, artist, for sure. I agree. Love makes you blind, deaf, and dumb. Then add a manipulative, abusive addict on top of all that. You're in a constant flight or fight and will do or say anything to survive and be safe. Yeah. I agree. Dana says, I believe Mac is still in danger because Ryan has more people standing behind him, and he has threatened her. Ryan has threatened her with Amanda, saying like, "Oh, just wait till she gets off probation." What? I think there's been 2 messages that were released where he was like, "Oh, if my girlfriend wanted to beat you up, she would. If my girlfriend wanted to beat you up, she would have already beat you up." Which I guess that was not exactly threatening because it's saying she don't want to, because if she did, she would have. I guess it can be threatening as well because it's like, if she takes a mind to, she will do it and won't nothing stop her. Know that. But she don't want to because she hasn't. But then there was another message that he messaged her saying something about when she gets off probation, like, oh, you better watch out because when she gets off probation, like she's gonna beat you up or something like that. Those were released like a while back on Instagram. It's funny. Yes, Jennifer, same. Anyways, you guys, I'm on oxycodone for my tooth pain. Once it was miserable, just decided to finish managing my pain with ibuprofen. That's what I always do. Anyways, you guys, we're going to talk. I'm going to go live in a little bit about Janelle Evans. Her and August, they're back at each other's throats. I guess August released information to like OK Magazine that he had to pay Jace's medical bill, and that Janelle didn't pay it. And then Janelle popped up on social media like, why don't you worry about your own kids? Like, you don't even have a relationship with your kids. So more drama between Janelle and August. And Janelle told off on herself. She's like, my kids don't even like you. And I'm like, once again, you dated somebody your kids didn't like. And you admitted it. Elle, why didn't she sue him? Is it because they are legally married? Yes, in the state of Tennessee, you can destroy your own house. Yep. There's nothing. Nothing that she could do. There was nothing she could do. Thank you, Jennifer. Everybody, welcome Jennifer to the Elle Bee family. Hey. Thank you so much. If you guys don't mind, on the way out, hit that thumbs up button. Also, follow me on my new social media platforms. Also, I have somebody super close to me that started a page. It's called Daily 10 Piece. And this page, basically what it does is it is a page it posts inspirational videos, inspirational videos that will encourage you, uses scriptures from the Bible to encourage you. It also does 10 facts about interesting historical figures, figures from the Bible, characters from the Bible. Like there's like a Ragnar video, Eric the Red. There is a Paul, Simon, Joseph video. So Daily 10 Piece is on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Daily 10 Piece, let me show you guys real quick. And it's somebody very close to me that started it. And basically, they just want to like have a channel that encourages people, but also, post like information about interesting people. This is it. Daily 10 Piece. And I'll kind of give you guys an idea of their content. Like this is Ragnar, who was a Viking, I think. So that's a video, 10 facts about Ragnar. This is Bible message, there's hope in Christ. So this is like an inspirational video. Like if you're going through a hard time, watch this video, like, maybe it'll help. This is one about the story of Moses. Really interesting. Let me get you the link. There's the link to the Facebook page. Anybody that wants to follow it. It's on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Okay, B, I'll check it. Thank you. Anyways, you guys, leave me all your thoughts in the comment section below. artist that they plan that. Plan what? No, it was filed after. They were separated, but not. AK True, thank you. Anyway, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me for 2 hours. I knew this one was going to be a long one. I literally told myself I'm going to have to warn my audience. You guys, this will be a long one. But I think I forgot to warn you guys. But thank you for hanging out with me. We had over 300 people here pretty much the whole time. So thank you guys. And I do understand everybody has different opinions, but I do hope that maybe me giving a different insight to some things when it comes to Mackenzie will, maybe make you think about it a little bit differently. Maybe think about, do you have a daughter that's 16? Does she make dumb decisions? What if she makes a dumb decision at 20 and marries an idiot? And what if this idiot fills her mind with stuff against people and then she defends him because she's married and she loves him? And then what if, she was treated this way and her idiot man abused her and assaulted her and put guns to her head and then the whole world hated her? So hopefully I can give a different perspective into things because I have lived a very similar life, which is why I was always super pro Macy. But yeah, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media platforms. Follow Daily 10 Piece as well. And I'll be back shortly to talk about Janelle. Bye, guys.